Hey, what is up YouTube? In this video I'm going to be going over variables. So what are variables? Variables are just placeholders for data so that you can use them throughout your project. You can modify them, you can change them, you can add stuff to it. You could do anything you want to these variables, and they're an essential part of programming. They're really important. The good thing is that they're really easy to work with. So if you want to create a variable, okay, first you start off by specifying the data type that you want it to hold. So if you remember from my previous video, when I was going over data types, one of the data types was ints or integers. So if I want to create a variable that holds ints, first I specify the type. So I type in int, and then the name, and again you could call this whatever you want. You don't have to call it variable 1, you can call it anything really. And then we need to assign it a whole number or an integer. So I'm going to go ahead and type in 7, okay, and there you go. We created a variable of type int that holds the number 7. And if we want to go ahead and create a variable of type double, it's the same thing. You type in the data type, so in this case double. We want to create a variable that holds double, a double, right? And we call it variable 2. And then we assign it a decimal number, so 7.2. Okay. And then same thing for strings. You type in string, notice that the S needs to be capital. You can call it whatever you want. And then in here we're gonna put something like, I don't know, desk or something. Okay. So that's pretty much how you create variables. I mean, you specify the type and then the name of the variable and then whatever value you want to stick inside that variable. Okay. Now go ahead and type in system.out.println, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and output these variables onto the screen just so you can see how you can use them throughout your program. So the system.out.println, if you didn't already know, anything you put inside of the parentheses gets placed out here in the console window. Go ahead and clear my console window. That 100, by the way, was from something I was doing earlier. But anyway, you go ahead and type in variable 1 on here. Okay. And when I go ahead and run this, you'll notice that the 7 appears on there. Okay. Because that's the data that is saved inside of variable 1. Now, if we go ahead and type in variable 2, which is this right here, it should output 7.2, right? Yep, and that's exactly what happens. And the same thing for variable 3. So we type in variable 3 and then we click run and it should show desk. Okay, cool. Now this is where it gets a little confusing, okay? So some people are wondering, well, what the hell can what can happen if I put like 1.7 inside here? You can't do that. So the reason you can't put a decimal number or a double inside of an int is because the computer doesn't know what to do with the numbers after the decimal point. It doesn't know if you want it to round down or round up. It doesn't know what to do with the 7, so instead it complains and it doesn't run anything. So this will not work. if I were to put an integer inside of a double, okay, so say a 1, or we'll use a different number, say 4, okay, do you think it'll complain? Let's find out. So we'll go ahead and put variable 2. We'll go ahead and run it. And no, it doesn't complain, but note how it actually displays 4.0 instead of just 4. And the reason for this is because it's grabbing that integer, okay, this 4 is an integer, and it's throwing it inside of here and saving it as a double. And remember, doubles are decimal numbers, okay, so that's why they tack on this 0.0 on there. Okay, so remember, you can add, or sorry, you can use an integer inside of a double, but you can't use a double as an integer, right? You can't save a double as an int, but you can save an int as a double. Okay? Alright. Now, the next thing are strings. The thing with strings is that, you know, you can use characters or, you know, letters, special characters, numbers, anything like that. If I want to use numbers, know that it'll display on the screen. So if I change this to variable 3, you'll notice that it does display 79 on there. Okay, just remember, if you're trying to add numbers, it won't work if they're of type string. So you can't add two strings together. If I have a string, you know, called 1, and I have another string on here called 7, and I try to add these two numbers inside of here, variable 3 and variable 4, what's gonna happen is it's actually gonna, I'll just show you guys. What it does is it actually joins both of them together. It doesn't add the numbers. You see, because variable 3 is 1 and variable 4 is 7. Okay? But if these were of type string, or I'm sorry, if they were of type int and not of type string, and then we go ahead and add them, don't forget to take the double quotes out, by the way. You will notice that instead of it displaying 17 like it was doing before, right? It was just joining them together. It should actually display the sum, which is 1 plus 7, which is 8. Okay, so that's how you kind of work with integers, doubles, and strings. Alright. Thanks for watching my video. I appreciate it. Hope you guys liked it. Bye.